Ladies and gentlemen, CBS News. Judge Cannon jumpstarts oversight of Trump classified documents case. Actually, it was a ruling in favor of Trump, and this is a nightmare for Democrats. In Thursday's order, Cannon gave, quote, all attorneys of record and forthcoming attorneys of record a timeline for getting in touch with the Justice Department's litigation security group so that they can expedite the necessary security clearance process. She wants the lawyers to file a notice of confirming they have complied with her instructions. So she wants, obviously, President Trump's team to get a security clearance or security clearances to view exculpatory evidence, hopefully, that, of course, the DOJ is probably withholding. Okay? They've withheld exculpatory evidence in every case that has gone against Trump or anyone associated or close to Trump or within Trump's political sphere. They have withheld exculpatory evidence all the time. The exculpatory evidence, of course, evidence that can help the defense, that can show that Trump is innocent, not guilty, that will entail classified documents. And the judge is saying, yeah, you can get your security clearance now. Let's get the show on the road. The New York Times, though, is unhappy. Judge in Trump's document case has scant criminal trial experience. When is there ever going to be a time in American history going forward when people realize that the New York Times, the Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN, The Atlantic, New Yorker, New York Magazine, Rolling Stone, Vanity Fair, Esquire, all of Hollywood, social media algorithms are on one political side, one team, against 60 plus million or 70 plus million that voted that choose Trump over a Democrat? When will people realize that there will be an immediate reaction or article published by editors at these publications immediately backing the Democratic Party narrative? I mean, I don't understand. I mean, this is like I can go on forever about this. I don't understand how people can look at Trump. I mean, you don't have to like his personality. You don't have to like who he is, his personality, what he's done. That's fine. But how can you delineate? How can you differentiate? How can you remove the completely apoplectic media reaction to Trump, the overt and obvious effort to side with the Democratic Party? They're not even trying to be objective at all. There's like Fox News, which doesn't even really side with Trump. So the average Democrat looks at Fox and says, oh my God, partisan bias. And they don't realize that virtually almost every publication out there talking about politics is rooting for one side. That's not reality, by the way, because most people who don't like Trump see it as, well, that's the reality. That's all I read in every publication. Okay, so it must be true that the opposite is true. The opposite is true. They're also covering up crimes, felonies that Hunter and Joe and Hillary and others have allegedly committed, which in the form of like incriminating emails, money flow, hundreds of millions of dollars going into corporations run by Hunter, and Joe knowing very well what Hunter was doing. So evidence that money was given and U.S. foreign policy was altered. Classified data siphoned from U.S. servers onto Clinton servers. Nobody has ever explained. The Honorable James Comey and none of the people working on Crossfire Hurricane have ever explained how classified data could possibly be transferred from secure government locations onto servers. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Servers, by the way, outside the U.S. government, and then the Honorable James Comey says, well, no reasonable prosecutor would indict. So they found unreasonable prosecutors, and Trump's going to be indicted three times. They'll indict him also for January. The January committee found no concerted effort by Trump to do anything criminal. They edited the video footage of his speech that day to leave out peaceful and patriotic and all. And so, again, that's a form of exculpatory evidence, or they lie by omission. So when Democrats or former presidents or pundits talk about Trump lying, nobody lies more than the people after Trump. The people going after Trump, they lie by omission. The greatest lies are told by omission. When you don't tell the entire story, or it's either a lie by omission or the most absurd, outlandish statement taken at face value and never investigated. So when President Obama, for example, said he didn't know of Clinton's servers, this is, of course, a grandiose lie. Of course he knew. Clinton worked for President Obama. His entire administration worked for him. Of course he knew. And there are emails from Clinton's officials stating that President Obama knew of the email, and he exchanged emails with Clinton. This is, of course, a lie. But it's a lie in the form of an absurd statement that you'd have to be completely gullible and naive to believe. And so the same thing with, Clinton used emails for convenience. Of course it wasn't for convenience. It was to hide communication. Or the tarmac meeting between Loretta Lynch, Attorney General Lynch, and Bill Clinton, where they spoke about golf and Brexit, and that was it. You'd have to be a complete imbecile to just believe that all of these things are happening just like for the reasons they're told to people. But with Trump, everyone is suspicious. Nothing he says is ever believed. And now they have to prove he didn't declassify documents. They want him to end his life in prison. Ain't going to happen. Whether these indictments end in convictions is completely irrelevant. They will all be overturned by the Supreme Court. None of this obsession with Trump, none of these cases have an actual crime. So they say, well, he's on tape. Well, where's the document? How do you know that document that he says isn't declassified, that he didn't declassify that document? You don't even have it. The DOJ doesn't even have that document. Where is that document? Then the New York indictment, you don't even have to get into. These are misdemeanors elevated to a felony. The FEC didn't even find Trump. They fined Clinton. And I think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee. I mean, I don't see how she can't be the 24 nominee. What is the point of doing all of these things? What is the point of purchasing a Steele dossier and then reveling in Trump getting indicted? So Clinton, her entire life, can then work for Biden's administration? Mashed potato brains? I don't think so. The same people who denied Trump's victory in 2016, okay, you couldn't get, more, you couldn't get people who refused to accept reality more so than the wonderful, morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats who were mortified in 2016 and never treated Trump as the president, never accepted his presidency, started a resistance. Okay, they were part of the resistance, like they were in Star Wars or something, or the 1930s and 1940s. They're like the protagonists in their own fantasy. We're the resistance against Trump. Well, what are you resisting? Record low poverty? That's what we had with Trump. Record highs in household median income. What? The Doha Agreement that brought Americans home? What are you resisting? You're just resisting because, okay, you lost. The greatest sore losers were the wonderful, highly educated among us. But anyway, to my new Patreons, thank you. Your Patreon support is so greatly appreciated. It's below. Super thanks. Thank you. It's below also. To read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, along the Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the channel is growing. It's because of you. Hit subscribe right now. Tell your friends about this channel. Judge just ruled, sided with Trump, or let's just say another judge could have made it difficult for Trump to obtain a security clearance. But this judge did. hit subscribe right now. I'll be back in a couple of hours. Thank you so very much.